ورتل القرآن ترتيلا. Assalam-u-Alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this lesson of Quran Tajweed course ورتل القرآن ترتيلا. As you know, friends, in the previous lesson we learned that there are 4 rules pertaining to noon saakin and tanween, which are idhar, ادغام, iqlab and ikhfa. We discussed the first rule, that is idhar, in detail in the previous lesson. If you haven't watched that video, please click on this I button above and watch it. Now today we will discuss the second rule of noon saakin and tanween, and that is ادغام. But before starting the lesson, let me tell you, just to make this lesson more interesting and engaging for you, I'll be asking you a question related to this lesson somewhere in the middle or at the end of this lesson. And you have to write your answer in the comment section. And if you're among the first 3 people to answer, you will have a reward in the next video in the shape of a thank you note and an appreciation note. So watch this video till the end. Remember, the comments will be hidden till the upload of next video. Okay? Now let's start this lesson. This term, ادغام, is a masdar or a noun form from the verb ادغم يدغم. The linguistic meaning of ادغام is insertion or merging or assimilation. And its applied definition in Tajweed is إيصال حرف ساكن بحرف متحرك بحيث يصير الحرفان حرفا واحدا مشددا كالثاني ويرتفع المخرج عنهما ارتفاعة واحدة. It is joining of a non-vowel letter with a vowel letter so that the 2 letters become one, stressed like the second letter, and the articulation point is lifted from its position as a single movement. You didn't get that, did you? Okay. Idgham is the merger or insertion of a non-vowel letter into a vowel letter next to it. Okay? Now, because of this merging, the second letter in which the first letter is merged, it is read twice, or it is stressed or emphasized. And the characteristics of this second letter become dominant over the first letter. Did you get that now? Let's see it with an example. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والله من ورائهم محيط. Ayat number 20 of Surah Al-Buruj. See here, we read Wallahu min waraihim, right? So we merge this noon saakin into the letter waw next to it, and this waw is read twice, min waraihim. Okay? Even though this noon saakin is merged into this waw next to it, we still make some part of noon visible by assimilating it into waw with nasalization or gunnah, like min waraihim, right? Now let's see some more examples. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wailul likulli humazatil lumazah. Ayat number 1 of Surah Al-Humazah. See here, wailul, and here kulli humazatil lumazah, right? We know that tanween carries the sound of a noon saakin, but where did this noon go in both these cases? Wailul likulli humazatil lumazah. No noon articulated at all in both the cases. So this noon saakin present in this tanween in both the cases was merged or inserted in the next letter, that is lam. And this lam was articulated with a shadda or a stress. وَيْلٌ لِكُلِّ هُمَزَةٍ لُمَزَةٍ. Did you hear the noon of tanween here? No, it is not articulated at all. And this lam is articulated twice. So that is how idgham works. Assimilating noon saakin, whether it is in the shape of a tanween or in the shape of the letter noon into the next letter. Okay? Now, if you noticed that in the first example, the noon retained one of its characteristics, that is ghunna, while it was merged into the next letter, like min waraihim, right? So ghunna or nasalization is present while we do this merger. But in the second example, the ghunna is not present while we do the merger or idgham, like wailul likulli humazatil lumazah. No part of the noon is made apparent, right? Now, a natural thought or question to your mind would be, how would I know when to make idgham with ghunna of noon and when to make it without ghunna? Well, that is a valid question. And that is what we have to learn next. But before jumping into that discussion, we have to know when to do the idgham of noon saakin, if we have to do it at all. Or what are the letters that should follow a noon saakin or tanween in order to apply this rule of idgham on it. Okay? There are actually 6 letters in Arabic. If they follow a noon saakin or a tanween, this noon saakin gets merged into the following letter. And those 6 letters are ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, and noon. If you join these 6 letters, it becomes the word yarmaloon, doesn't it? So the collection of these 6 letters is sometimes called al-huruful yarmaloon, the yarmaloon letters. And they are sometimes also called huruful idgham, the letters of idgham. So whenever any of these 6 letters comes after a noon saakin, whether this noon saakin is written as the letter noon or whether it is in the shape of a tanween, this noon saakin will be assimilated in the letter of idgham that follows it, like we saw in the previous example. Now this idgham is of 2 kinds. It can be a complete idgham or a complete assimilation where noon saakin gets completely merged into the next letter, or it can be incomplete idgham where the noon saakin does not get completely merged. It gets partially merged, and even though it is assimilated into the next letter, it still exhibits the quality of ghunna. Okay? The first type of assimilation, that is the complete idgham, is called idgham kamil in Arabic. And the second type of assimilation, that is the incomplete idgham, is called idgham naqis in Arabic. Let's understand these 2 kinds of idgham with examples. Let's see idgham kamil first, that is the complete idgham. We saw that there are 6 letters of idgham, and those are ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, and noon, forming the word yarmaloon. And if any of these 6 letters immediately follows the noon saakin or tanween, we have to merge that noon saakin into this next letter, right? Now out of these 6 letters, 2 letters are such, if they follow a noon saakin or tanween, we have to merge this noon saakin completely into them. And those 2 letters are ra and lam. So if either of these two letters comes after a noon saakin or tanween, this noon saakin will be merged into either this ra or lam completely without any nasalization or gunna. Let's see some examples of this ادغام kamil or complete ادغام. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. You may be thinking what happened to him. He's reciting the adhan. Yes, this is a very famous sentence as we say and hear it in every adhan. Here we merge this noon completely into the next letter lam without any gunna. Ashhadu an la ilaha, an la ilaha. No noon at all. Okay? Next example. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. One more sentence from adhan. What are the written words here? Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Muhammadan Rasulullah. The word Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam has a tanween on this letter dal at the end, right? So we should have pronounced a noon sakin at the end of this word, like Muhammadan Rasulullah. Muhammadan Rasulullah. But what do we say? We say Muhammadar Rasulullah. Muhammadar Rasulullah. We have to do idgham of this noon sakin hidden in this tanween. So the right way is to say Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah and not dan Rasulullah. Okay? With idgham between these two words Muhammad and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, without any noon or nasalization between them. Okay? Another example. كُلُوا مِن رِزْقِ رَبِّكُمْ وَاشْكُرُوا لَهُ. Surah As-Saba, ayat number 15. This noon sakin here is followed by the letter ra. So we must do idgham. Kulu mir rizqillah. Mir rizqillah. No noon or no nasalization. Okay? One more example. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. Again, a very famous ayat from the Holy Qur'an. Surah Al-Ikhlas, ayat number 4. Can you figure out where does the idgham happen in it? If you do figure it out, then write it quickly in the comments section and get your name highlighted in our next video with a special thank you and appreciation note. Okay? Let's move forward. So this was idgham kamil or the complete idgham. It is sometimes also called idgham bighayr gunna or idgham bila gunna. That means idgham without gunna, as we assimilate this noon sakin in this type of idgham without any gunna. Now the second type of idgham is idgham naqis, meaning incomplete idgham. As this term itself suggests, we do not merge the noon sakin completely into the next letter in this type of idgham. It happens when any of the 4 remaining letters out of these 6 huruful yarmalun follow a noon sakin or a tanween. So which are those 4 remaining letters? We saw earlier when the letters ra or lam come immediately after a noon sakin or tanween, idgham kamil or the complete idgham happens. Now the remaining 4 letters are ya, waw, mim and noon, right? If we join these 4 letters, it forms a word yumin. So sometimes the collection of these 4 letters is known as huruful yumin. And when any of these four letters follows a noon saakin or tanween immediately, that noon saakin is assimilated into this next letter with nasalization. Okay, with nasalization. So here this noon saakin is not completely dropped. In fact, some part of it is articulated in the shape of gunna. Let's understand it with some examples. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab. Ayat number 1 of Suratul Masad or Lahab. Here the noon saakin hidden in this tanween is assimilated in the next letter, that is waw. So we say lahabin wa tab, lahabin wa tab. We merge the noon saakin into waw with a gunna. Okay. Now if we do the idgham here without gunna, like lahabiw wa tab, lahabiw wa tab, making no part of this noon apparent, that would be wrong. The right way is to do idgham with gunna, like lahabin wa tab, lahabin wa tab. Okay. Next example. قلوب يومئذ واجفة. Ayat number 8 of Surah An-Nazi'at. Here we see two instances of idgham naqis. One on this dhammah tanween, as it is followed by the letter ya, and the other one on this kasrah tanween, as it is followed by the letter waw. So qulubun yawma'idhin wajifah, assimilation with gunna. One more example. فَأْتُوا بِصُورَةٍ مِّن مِّثْلِهِ. Ayat number 28 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Again, two instances of idgham naqis here. One on this kasrah tanween followed by the letter mim, and the other one on this noon saakin followed by the letter mim. Right? Bisuratim mim mithlih, and not min mithlih. Okay? Mim mithlih, not min mithlih. Okay? Idgham but with gunna. One more and the last example. وَمَا لِأَحَدٍ عِنْدَهُ مِنْ نِعْمَةٍ تُجْزَى. Suratul Layl, ayat number 19. Noon saakin followed by another noon, that is noon mutaharrik. So the first noon is assimilated into the second one with gunna. Okay? Now, if you have noticed that whenever it is an instance of idgham, the letter after the noon saakin or tanween has a shaddah on it, right? Did you notice that? I mean, whenever noon saakin or tanween is followed by any of these 6 letters, ya, ra, mim, lam, waw or noon, a shaddah is written on this letter, right? You know, this shaddah is written on this letter only to show you or remind you that you have to do idgham of this noon saakin or tanween into this next letter of idgham. Okay? But even if this shaddah is not written on these letters, we still have to do idgham, as we know the rule. And that is that if any of these 6 letters follows a noon saakin or tanween, we have to do idgham on this noon saakin or tanween when continuing to read between them. Okay? Now the last thing, just for your information. The letter that we assimilate into the other letter is called harf mudgham, like the noon in this case. It will be called noon mudgham, and the second letter into which the first letter is assimilated is called harf mudgham fi. Harf mudgham and harf mudgham fi, or simply mudgham and mudgham fi. Okay? Now let's read some examples of these idgham naqis and idgham kamil from Nurani Qaida, lesson number 24. ادغام of noon saakin or tanween before the letter ra. Muhammadur Rasulullah min rabbika ra'ufur rahimun 'ishatir radiyatin. Idgham of noon saakin or tanween before the letter lam. Min ladunhu kullun lahu yakul lahu rizqan lakum uffil lakum min labanin. Idgham of noon saakin or tanween before the letter ya. An yu'ta man ya'mal min yawmin man yaqulu wujuhun yawma'idhin an yasha'a. Idgham of noon saakin or tanween before the letter waw. Ilahan wahidan rahimun wadudun in wahabat min waraihim jannatin wa uyunin man wu'ida. Idgham of noon saakin or tanween before the letter mim. Rasulun minallahi siratan mustaqiman amman khayrun min mithlihi. Idgham of noon saakin or tanween before the letter noon. Min nabiyyin nuran nahdi min ni'matin liman nuridu faman nakatha min nasirina. So these were the rules pertaining to idgham of noon saakin and tanween. There are certainly some exceptions to the rules of idgham, both in the case of idgham kamil and idgham naqis. But we cannot include those exceptions in this lesson because that would make this already long lesson much longer. So we will discuss them in the next lesson. Okay? So see you in the next lesson with the exceptions to the rules of idgham, inshallah. And yes, do remember to write your answer to the question asked in this lesson in the comments section so that we can include your name in the next video with a special thank you and appreciation note if you happen to be among the first 3 people to answer. Remember, the comments will be hidden until the upload of the next lesson. So wait for the next video. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it with your family and friends. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.